Hello and welcome to GirlFright, the new horror podcast. I'm Annie and I'm here with Rachel. Hello.
Hello.
And
Hello
today we are going to be talking about John Carpenter, namely The Thing and Halloween, but a little bit in general as well. Are you familiar with anything, the works of John Carpenter at all?
Well, I mean, a long time. I think I've watched Halloween and Halloween 2 when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly enough, on Halloween. It's just
Halloween
one of those
is for
things
all
that has
year.
to be done.
All year.
And I know your Halloween is all year round. I mean, you make that clear with your head to toe tattoos of skulls and snakes and everything in between.
Snakes are beautiful little babies that need to be loved.
Little babies.
But yes, you have seen Halloween, but you haven't seen The Thing. Other notable John Carpenter works are The Fog, Christine.
I haven't seen The Thing, but I've heard about it.
Yes. Well, we're going to talk about that today.
I've got quite a few questions for you about that one.
For
sure.
Excellent. Well, I think personally that the Halloween franchise is probably the best example of John Carpenter's legacy.
Leggings.
But
John
Thing,
Carpenter's leggings.
The Thing is largely considered his masterpiece.
Lovely legs.
And I did actually rewatch both of these films, The Thing and Halloween 1. And again, I've forgotten just how much I enjoyed them. I mean, I get whole new things out of The Thing. I find that in contrast with the Clive Barker films that I looked at in my previous episode, these ones, you can't delve into them as much on kind of analytical level, but they are more visually impressive, which I think is because Clive Barker's were based on actual books, whereas these aren't. John Carpenter's, exclusively director rather
they're
than
free to get a bit more mad and like
Yeah.
slashery, whereas it's
like the visuals are more prominent in this, and the story is more
previous
prominent in
episodes,
the Clive Barker ones. Yeah,
definitely.
but funnily enough, though, John Carpenter, unless you're a fan of the genre to begin with, he's considered quite niche, which I think is really strange. Directors like, say, Francis Ford Coppola or Stanley Kubrick, they're considered to be more kind of arty, and they're more well respected almost.
Just strange because I mean, really, these two movies in themselves are quite different.
Mm.
One is sort of based on aliens and sort of that sort of sci-fi sort of intro to horror, and then you've got Halloween, which is complete psychological thrasher slasher movie.
He does actually have a really, really large body of work, though, and he does some things in one camp, some things in another. So it's neither of those are particularly random for him if you look at his wider body of work, really. Interesting, though, a lot of people who aren't actually fans of the genre still recognise his films and kind of tie them together in their head. I mean, I was speaking to another friend about this who I was watching the films with, and he said that you do have an inkling that they're all stylistically similar, even though he doesn't really know who John Carpenter
Not quite
is.
as bad as Tim Burton, hopefully.
Oh, good Lord, no.
I mean, to be fair to Tim Burton, he has whacked out quite a few classics, but I mean, more recently, I think it's gone a bit downhill.
Still a fan, though.
Whereas with John Carpenter, you can see the connection in it, but it's in a good way. Not you've used the same actors again.
No, it's not like that. Just as I say, stylistically, people kind of subconsciously seem to tie these films together, which is really interesting because they don't really know who he is. Like, well, a lot of people know who he is, but some people just aren't familiar with the whole genre. Yes. But anyway, the first film that we're going to talk about is The Thing, starring Kurt Russell, who I actually forgot was in this film, and I forgot what a good actor he was. I've always kind of just written him off. I mean, he's not in that.
It's been a while.
Yeah, he's not in that many films that I like, but he was a belter in this. Like,
I mean, would you say you have a little crush on 1982 Kurt Russell?
Only because he looks like the lead singer of Taking Back Sunday in his beardy ears.
Those were the best. Those were the best years.
They were the best.
Thank you.
They were
growing
the best
that
years.
beard. Do it again,
please, Adam Lazzara, if you're listening. Yes, please. On a similar note, on a musical note, the music for on a slightly related note, the music for this film was done by Ennio Morricone, which again, I forgot. And I
thought... I can't pronounce.
I thought it doesn't actually, feels like an odd choice to begin with because he did all the spaghetti westerns. But when you actually think about it, it makes a lot of sense.
Like, wow, wow, wow.
Kind of. Kind of.
I'm just sort of like...
But it really makes sense because if you look at these...
Imagining this alien sort of swaggering into the base in Antarctica with like, put your guns up.
No, but if you look
Stepping into the saloon bar on the Arctic base.
It makes perfect sense though, because if you look at like the opening shots, it's like these big long like exposition shots of Antarctica, like just showing you this whole expansive wasteland. It really what makes you... It's trying to get across the isolation that they're in and just this barren, and his kind of... I know it's not icy in, spaghetti westerns, but it's the same sort of desert, just reaching out into nothingness. So he actually makes perfect sense when you think about it.
Antarctica is like the part of the year for quite a while. It's dark for...
I'm not sure.
And then like half the year it's dark and half the year it's light, rather than regular day and night. It can be night.
I think in like polar night, isn't it? So I think so. I mean, in this film you do have day and night, but I don't actually know. I mean,
I think there is a movie about when it goes
40 days
dark.
A night. Is that it? 30 days a night. Sorry, I got it mixed up with Lent.
Bible
I really
horror movie.
I really do like the opening sequence to the thing though. Like a lot about this film is it's not ever explicitly shown kind of as well. It is a lot through it, but it's not meant to be scary. It not makes you think, ooh, foreboding. It's just little things with the
music does have a sense of discord, and it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, just the way it's shot, little things that are supposed to just be a bit off kilter, just make you feel like this isolation and the paranoia and the claustrophobia, because they're all stuck on this little base, and it only gets worse as the stuff starts to go down. There's a scene early on as well, which I found really reminiscent to The Shining, where there's one chap who's roller skating down corridors, and in my head it just looked exactly the same as, with the kid on the trike in The Shining, and he's skating down them, and that just kind of it reinforces, like they're in the hotel in The Shining, aren't they? And they're really isolated too in the snow, and then it's like isolation and claustrophobia, and it leads to madness, and it makes you think, is this going to go the same way? It's kind of just little unconscious things in the back of your head.
Sort of triggers you in your mind.
Yeah, and you're like, this is...
Already.
Yeah, it's like this is going to...
makes you feel a bit anxious.
And also there's a scene later on as well where one fella's attacking another one with an axe, and he holds up a table, and it's like, yeah, that's the door. That's Here's Johnny. Table and axe remake.
Was it that this came out 2 years after The Shining?
This came out 2 years after The Shining, yeah. There's a lot of nice contrast as well between... They do this quite a lot. They show all different empty rooms in the base, and then they go outside and show just this big expanse of snow. And it's just like, it's empty in there, it's empty in here. No one's going to save you. You're on your own. It really reinforces that a lot. Like, it's the way he shot it is, it's kind of like a masterpiece. Well, did you say it's a masterpiece? I always thought it was Halloween, but you know what? I'm changing my ideas on all kinds of things lately. But then we get to the gooey, twisted corpses.
Gooey, twisted corpses.
Yeah, they go to an abandoned base because some fellas show up and try to shoot the dog, basically. So they go back to where they came from, and they find like a big twisted alien corpse. And then when they get back, the alien is the doggo that they were trying to shoot to begin with.
Again,
killing
another
the dog.
Movie with killing dogs.
Mm-hmm. This dog suddenly...
But to be fair, this dog is an alien.
Yeah, it's suddenly got tentacles, and it looks like some sort of...
I might let them off in this one.
It looks like some sort of spider crab husky hybrid. There's a lot in this film just a lot of shots that are really unappealing and just make you think, oh, I mean that in a good way for the film. You just think, yucky, just stop.
A lot of limbs.
Things have got too many limbs. It's heads where heads should not be.
It reminds me a little bit, well, just talking about this just reminds me a little bit of playing Halo 3 when I think it's the Horde. They start to attack. It's just pile of limbs just chasing towards you. It's horrifying, really, like truly horrible.
No, this is really
when I first was playing that and they were running towards me for the first time, sat in my house on my own, living room light, turned right off. Shot myself.
Oh dear. Oh, honestly, if you know what you would.
Sorry, guys. Excuse the language, but
if this happened to your dog, though, I would literally just be like, I don't have a dog. Dog? What dog?
Yeah.
In this, Mac wants the flamethrower. That's exactly what I'd do. I would be flamethrowing that dog. I'm sorry. If my dog suddenly had 10 legs, that's just a big spider, really, isn't it?
Oh, but it's 6 more legs to love.
Ooh. Nah, sorry, you can keep that one. It's going straight. That's going straight to dog's trust if that happens. I tell you.
Well, I mean, you're into spiders, but you
no,
you're not into spiders.
No,
she likes the no legs, basically. The snakes.
Yeah,
she likes the no legs.
Good with snakes. I have a beautiful ball python at home.
Any more than 4 legs is too many for Annie.
Yes, that's probably true.
It's a baller with everything else.
Not about all the legs.
The less legs, the better.
Yeah. Well, there's in this film there are repeatedly too many legs throughout, and heads and faces.
Bad moment for you.
At one point, the dog bursts through like somebody's side as has been digested by the thing, and I think the thing is starting
a bit like Alien.
Well, I thought it was a lot like Hieronymus Bosch personally, but there we go. Lot of grossness. Autopsy in Alien after Alien. They figure out that the alien is in fact a mimic. This is big news because the alien could then be anybody, and everyone's looking at each other with suspicion. They're stuck on this Antarctic base, and that's where it gets heavy.
And then it just leads to, I mean, does it lead to them all sort of just murdering each other, whether they know whether they're aliens or not? Or
well, for a while, they all kind of try and hold off on murdering each other, but, well, they kind of do it, but sort of not quite. If that helps. They run a computer program which has been the source of much internet hilarity, where, bear in mind, we're in 1982 here, and he puts in this cellular thing, this attacks people on base, and it goes, well, it'll be dead in 27,000 days or something like that, and it's like, it figures it out really, really quickly, and the internet's like, it was 1982, we were basically playing computer ping pong. So it's like, how did that happen? But so...
The height of technology, computer ping pong.
Yeah,
guys.
I'm actually old enough that I briefly had one of those where it's got like 2 little lines and you're bouncing the ball.
I'm such an old fogey. I'd be happy to go back to that. Let's just return to the ping pong.
I would not. But
too many smartphones.
Yeah, so they've burnt the alien corpse and they've decided that it's still active on like a cellular level, and then they're like, who's been left alone with this alien? Who is the alien? Who's left alone with the alien? And where is the alien? And what are we going to do about the alien? And they're trying to like radio all different bases and stuff like that. And nobody can hear you scream in Antarctica. So it's too late. A lot of people do get thinged before they figure out a test for it.
Thinged.
Thinged.
That is it's a good word for it. Without explaining too much.
Yeah, a lot of this actually just boils down to, are you the alien? No. Are you the alien? No. Kurt Russell with his flamethrower quite a lot. And then until, boom, they decide to blow up the base. And then they're going to need a bigger boom. So that's what they do. And ultimately, I thought, boom. Big bad boom. I thought, in another nod to The Shining, but I may be wrong, they both freeze in the snow outside in the end.
Oh, what, the thing?
No, the thing's dead in the big boom.
Oh, the thing's dead.
Or is it?
Or is it? It's always a question.
But no, it's Kurt Russell, who is Macready, and the other chap, Childs, who they both end up just outside in the snow because the base is gone. There's no one to save them.
Okay, so they're just going to die of frostbite anyway.
Yeah, but at least they got the thing.
Yeah.
That's the gist. I really enjoyed rewatching this film. I actually got a lot from it on my rewatch. And I thought it was a lot grosser than I thought it was when I watched it when I was about 25.
Yeah, do you need like snacks while you watch horror movies? I'm a big snacker and need to have something to nibble on. I need popcorn to throw at the screen when I jump out of my skin.
I am not traditionally a snacker. And you won't, to be honest, you won't want to snack while you're watching this one anyway. You won't. You just won't. I mean, when you're watching Halloween, which we're going to discuss in a minute.
You'd be surprised what I can eat through. My sister's a nurse. She comes home from work and just starts talking about the grossest things that she's seen or that have happened that day. Oozing.
Oh God,
is definitely a word that's been used, and it usually starts talking about it while I'm eating.
No, I need nice clean eating space. I like to sit at my table and get all nice, and quite a lot of stuff sets my teeth on edge, and the thing really did set my teeth on edge. You know?
Okay.
But Halloween, which we're going to talk about next, does not actually have much that will put you off your dinner, apart from all the slasher, stabby murder. Yeah.
I mean, that's normal, right?
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, this is a stone cold classic. I put it on last night. The music starts. I'm already immersed. I love it. The 70s font for the opening credits, the black and orange, and
great intro.
And we've got that music. Everyone knows the music, and the lit pumpkin, and we're zooming in on its eye, and all of a sudden you've got me anyway. I'm hook, line, and sinker at that point. I love this film. Terms of John Carpenter, it's stylistically quite similar to The Thing, even though you wouldn't initially think so. It's got those really long shots where it sticks with things for a really long time, so that you're not kind of having to establish where you are and who's in your scene and what it's about. It's a really quick way of seeing what we're doing. And in this one, we have killer's eye view quite a lot. I noticed that the decor in the house looks like my grand's house, which I've never thought before.
Oh, great.
Meaning that I'm obviously quite old. But
I love that decor.
What, the doilies?
All the doilies everywhere. And they've always got a bathroom that's like painted lime green with lime green.
Avocado.
Oh, yeah, avocado, sort of, yeah. The avocado colour.
In 1979.
The toilet bowl's avocado, the sink's avocado, the bath's avocado.
In 1979, avocado was a colour, not a food. So we have killer's eye view, and the premise is that Michael Myers goes and stabs his sister to death. He's in a little clown costume, and the parents come home and they're like, "What have you done?" And then he gets locked up in an institution for basically the rest of his days, or what they hope is going to be the rest of his days, but it is not, as we all know.
Yeah, nowadays it wouldn't happen though. Obviously,
No, I think
someone had killed their sister when they were 6. It probably might.
I think
get some counselling.
Yeah, that's to put it mildly. I think that the idea of the whole mental institution and the fact that people have escaped and stuff, and that's like a point to make people frightened, wouldn't fly as well these days necessarily. I don't know, but the whole concept of Michael Myers at least is scary. It's the bogeyman again. It plays on what people are frightened of. It's like Michael Myers keeps on popping out from behind a hedge here, or
he's just here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah,
get away from him.
He's only popping out to Jamie Lee Curtis,
who just wants to talk to me all the time.
Oh God, we've all got one of those. He only pops out to Jamie Lee Curtis though. She's the only one who sees him lurking around, and it's kind of like, are your fears real, or are you the only one that could see them? Because if he's the bogeyman, in my head I'd be like, am I going mad? Can no one else see this? You know what I mean? So it's kind of a bit like that. It's almost like he's kind of just terrorizing her as well, because he doesn't actually, he does try and kill her in the end obviously, but only as the grand finale. Like, he kills her mates first, he keeps on lurking around, and it's like
he's sort of just torturing.
It's like he's centering it around her, and
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it is generally a really nicely shot film though. Again with your dog.
Yeah.
Your dog. 3 out of 4 films that we've discussed today have had your dead dog trope.
Halloween trope.
Yeah, so that's 75%. That's pretty high. I think you might be onto something there.
Yeah, it's always going to happen. And I'm not okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your dog.
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed in this film is there are a lot of gratuitous titties in this film. There are a lot of gratuitous titties. And I like to call this, you bonk, you die.
Yes, you bonk, you die.
This is what happens in horror films.
Another very classic.
It is. I mean, this has been referenced tongue in cheek in a lot of films since, but
yeah, I mean, you've got is it Scream? No, Scary Movie. Scary Movie.
I was thinking more Cabin in the Woods specifically,
but it does happen in Scream as well.
Yeah, definitely does. Well, it happens everywhere. It's like she's kind of the babysitter with the knitting needles. She's the sensible one. She's talking about how she's not going to go to prom, not going to date anyone. Like, they're passing a cigarette between themselves and she doesn't take it. She's the goody two shoes, and it's like in horror film land that almost makes you
the innocent.
That almost makes you worthy of surviving the horror film. If you be good,
the innocence,
yeah,
then you're ready to be murdered, basically.
Yeah, like her friend smoking weed in the car, and she has a bit, and I was like, "Oh, they're breaking the trope here." And then she goes, "Oh, And it's like, nope, they're sticking with
still
it.
Innocent.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is sort of could be seen as a social commentary on
women's society,
women's sexuality and society, and how
they expect of women,
can
and
be judged a lot more on that.
Yeah.
It's I mean, maybe hopefully
it's the whole no whore thing,
in the
right
direction. But yeah,
we'd like
you
to
bonk,
think
you
so.
die.
You bonk, you die. Dead dog, and you bonk, you die.
Yep.
Yeah. Top class analysis going on here.
Well, you've got to get it down to some
Sound
serious
points. Yeah.
Serious points.
No, all the things that I've noticed in this as well.
Things to avoid in real life, basically.
Mm-hmm. 1, you bonk, you die. 2, dead dog.
Keep your dog
safe.
And
3, ignore your ex when he's a disemboweled wraith, as we were talking about with Hellraiser.
Don't date your ex
ever.
But especially if he's disemboweled wraith.
This is a public service announcement, ladies. Don't.
Most of the time, it seems like they are anyway.
And I would also like to add, don't wear flares. I mean,
thank God.
From watching,
okay, I'll be all right.
From watching this film, I've realised that everybody looked older in the 70s and early 80s than they actually do now. I refuse to believe that Jamie Lee Curtis was 21 in this film.
A lot of backcombing.
21.
It's always backcombing.
She looks like she's taken like pie to church. She's, she looks like she's de-aged in the intervening time between 1979 and now.
Jamie Lee Curtis looks amazing.
She does.
Amazing. She looks incredible now. So beautiful. And this was like
79.
1970.
Yeah, 79.
9.
Yeah. Well, in the film, anyway, we have the escape from the asylum. And we have Michael Myers on the loose. And we have the doctor looking for him. Hardware store break-in, ropes and knives. I wonder who that could be. Basically, as I say, I watched these films with another friend. And he said, his quote, "A third of the way into the film and nothing has actually happened yet." I consider this blasphemy. I think it's a good build-up. But it's interesting to see the point of view of people who don't love it the way I do. And he found it to be quite a slow kind of exposition and a slow build-up, whereas I just kind of enjoy the ride in this film.
Yeah, I'd like to be built up to it, personally.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like with action movies these days, they just jump straight into action, and it's action, and they don't have enough character development for me to really care about the characters.
Yeah, you need to have a bit of commitment, don't you?
It really just you get to know the characters a bit more, and it makes you more invested. And I'm happy to wait for the gore.
Yeah, because it makes the gore more gory. Like if it's just all the time, then it kind of loses its impact a little bit.
If you care about the characters.
Yeah. As I say, he thought that there was no build-up, but maybe he wanted something a bit more hard-hitting right from the off. We find out what Michael is like, or what the doctor thinks of him. Apparently he has no sense of good or evil, and the blackest eyes you've ever seen. I think we're building him up a little bit too much here for someone who killed his sister at 6 and hasn't done anything that we know of since.
Yeah, I mean, he was just...
That is a point. I mean...
Seriously, send the kid to counselling.
Yeah, I'm not saying...
Maybe give him a hug.
I'm not saying is it a good thing, but does he deserve that reputation at this point? Yeah. I'm not convinced.
It's like if you do... It's basically they're labelling him, and therefore through that labelling... he can become that monster that they expect him to be.
No, I think he probably is that monster. I think he probably is that monster anyway, but he hasn't earned that yet, I don't think. I think
give him a minute.
Yeah, give him 3 or 4 films.
Give him a few hours and
there is a really expansive Halloween franchise. Again, actually, a lot of it is better quality than other franchises which have got so convoluted. Like there are a lot of them that I really like in the Halloween franchise, even though it's hard to stay kind of committed to the characters through all of these ups and downs because it's a 25-year situation and there are a lot of them. But whenever I watch one, I always enjoy it and I always think it's well made. I have to say, in the latest one...
I think I've watched 1, 2 and 3.
I think it was out last year, the latest one, and I don't like what they did with Michael.
Where are they up to now?
I think they've just got names now. I don't think they number them anymore.
The next one's called Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Halloween, Christmas special.
Halloween Christmas special.
I slay. But yeah, I didn't like what they did with Michael Myers in the last one. He was kind of a more hefty built fella in the boiler suit. He was, more thuggery and less scary. There was less, like in this film, there's a lot of beautiful shots, which I've seen whenever you research the film, you see them as stills, and it's like a black doorway, and you can just make out his face in the doorway, and you can see it there. Like they use that negative space.
Like window reflection.
Yeah, like you don't know where he is, so he could be everywhere. That's what's scary about it. And in the new film, they didn't really do that. They kind of made him into a bit of a meathead, which didn't really work. It didn't give you the same build-up. Didn't make you on the edge of your seat. You just, it was a bit more...
Yeah, I think it's more psychological.
Yeah.
The fear is stronger than,
Yeah.
I think, than just a muscly man. If you can build up someone's fear...
No, absolutely.
Through certain shots.
So...
You don't need a big... hench beefcake.
Like I did really I did still really enjoy the last Halloween film I watched, but I don't think it's in the same league as this. It's not the same kettle of fish we're talking about.
The scariest movies for me or the scariest villains are always the more psychological ones, and they have the ability to act normal. Then they're people that just go out and beat people up or stab people.
Yeah. No, like in this film, the first person that he kills, the first girl that he kills is one of Jamie Lee Curtis's friends, and there is a lot of baiting of the audience here. Like you keep on thinking she's going to get it, and she doesn't, and it goes on for more than 5 minutes. You keep on thinking he's going to jump out of there, and he never jumps out of anywhere, and that's what makes it fun. You're sitting there with your cushion thinking, oh, it's going to happen now, and it doesn't.
Don't go in there.
And that's why it's fun.
That's when I throw the popcorn at the TV screen.
There are a couple of kind of tongue-in-cheek funny moments as well. Like the doctor is trying to scare people away from the old Myers house, and he's hiding behind a bush doing this funny voice of kids. He's like, "Get away! I'm the killer," or something like that. And then you should see his face. He looks so pleased with himself, like he's having fun almost. Or there's a bit where Michael Myers puts a sheet over his head and pretends to be a ghost. I mean, I forgot about these bits, to be honest, and they amused the hell out of me when I watched this last night.
It has been a little while since I've watched it, so it's nice to be reminded of those moments.
Yeah. But and then in the end, obviously, it's just this roller coaster of horror film. Like the suspense is no longer a factor. Bodies are flying out of everywhere. He's hidden them around the house. One of them's on the bed, double bed in the bedroom with his mother's,
in the cupboards,
not his mother's, his sister's. His sister's gravestones on the bed, Judith Myers, and then he's put one of them there. And she's just walking around this house of horrors screaming as things are falling out. And, she stabs him with a knitting needle. He gets up. She stabs him again. He gets up.
Yeah,
I love these. I love these horror films.
Why did it take so long to die? It's like, why won't you die?
It's going to be...
How many times?
It's going to be at least another 30 years. I wouldn't hold your breath.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And on that note...
Until he's old and grey and hobbling along in his mask.
On that note, we are going to have to wrap this up. This has been GirlFright. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed it.